Today, we're talking about a quiet theology in bloom, a living parable of the Rose of Sharon. It's a flower you've probably seen 100 times, but maybe never really seen, you know? We're going to dive into what it has to teach us. Yeah, this is the one. You've definitely seen it, right? Maybe along a fence, in a neighbor's yard, or even in a public park. It's the Rose of Sharon, and it seems so, well, so normal. But what we're about to find out is that it's carrying this incredibly deep message, hidden in plain sight. And that really brings us to the big question for today. I mean, think about it. Can a common flower, one we barely even notice, actually teach us something really deep about faithfulness? It sounds a little crazy, but let's find out. Okay, so our journey starts with a bit of a puzzle, and it's hiding right there in the name. So here's the thing, and it's a little wild. The Rose of Sharon, well, first off, it's not a rose, not even close. It's actually a type of hibiscus. And get this, it's not from the biblical plane of Sharon either. So what gives? So you gotta wonder, why the totally confusing name? Well, the idea we're exploring here is that maybe it's not a mistake at all. Maybe it's an invitation, you know? The thinking is that God sometimes teaches through these symbols that don't give you instant clarity. They make you stop and think and look a little deeper. And that puzzle in its name? It leads us straight to this beautiful symbolic meaning, this idea of beauty coming from the most ordinary ground. So to really get it, we have to break down the name. Let's start with Sharon. In the Bible, Sharon wasn't some epic mountain or a holy city. Nope, it was a fertile plain, just ordinary, open land that God made fruitful. It's basically a symbol for the everyday, the commonplace. See where this is going? You take a rose, which, let's be honest, is the ultimate symbol for beauty, and you put it in Sharon, the symbol of the ordinary, and bam, you get this amazing idea, true loveliness sprouting from what seems totally common. The name itself is the lesson. All right, so that's the name, but it gets even better when you look at the plant itself. Let's shift from the name to its nature, because there's an entire theology just in the way this thing grows. You really see the character of this plant in its habits. First, it's tough, super hardy, super adaptable. It's also patient. It doesn't rush, it takes its time getting its roots down. And then, right when all the other spring flowers are giving up in the summer heat, that's when it decides to shine. And it's not just one and done. It blooms and blooms and blooms. Just look at this. This is what I'm talking about. This isn't some fragile, high-maintenance flower. It's thriving in some forgotten corner, probably in soil that's just okay. It's happy in the exact spots where those showier, fussier plants would just give up. It's like a living picture of endurance. And here's another thing. Each single flower doesn't last very long, but that's okay because there's always another one right behind it. It's this constant rhythm that points to such a powerful idea, which this quote just nails. Fruitfulness is not about clinging to yesterday's bloom, but trusting God for tomorrow's. It's all about letting go without being afraid. So, to really get what makes the Rose of Sharon so special, it actually helps to put it side by side with some of its flashier cousins. Okay, so you've got your tropical hibiscus on one side. Total showstoppers, right? They're dazzling, dramatic, they scream, "Look at me." But then you have the Rose of Sharon. It's quieter, more restrained, but it's just covered in blooms. It's not a one-time spectacle. It's more like a steady daily witness. And that really is the heart of it, isn't it? The Rose of Sharon isn't about some huge, dramatic, one-off miracle. It's about a quiet, consistent, daily kind of grace. Think of it like this. It's not the lightning strike. It's the sunrise. Every single day. So you take all these different threats, the confusing name, the way it grows, its quiet nature, and they all weave together to form this one beautiful idea. The plant itself is a living parable. And if you ever get a chance, just watch one for a few minutes. The blossoms are so open, so inviting. And it's not just for us to look at. This creates a kind of natural hospitality. The bees, the butterflies, they're all over it. Life just gathers around this plant. And what a lesson that is, right? It's a lesson in abiding. It suggests that maybe the goal isn't to run around trying to get everyone's attention. Maybe it's about becoming so rooted, so solid in who you are, that life and goodness just naturally come to you. Which brings us to the single thought that sums this whole thing up, and it's captured perfectly in this quote. God still causes loveliness to rise from ordinary ground. What a powerful reminder, that beauty and grace and purpose, they aren't just for the special, spectacular moments. They can be found right here, in the ordinary soil of our everyday lives. So, that leaves us with one last question to chew on. After seeing this whole beautiful parable play out in a simple garden shrub, the question kind of turns back to us, doesn't it? Where in our own lives is that quiet faithfulness trying to bloom?